I think one of the main things that people need to realize about Gojo is that he's a tragic character, and that's okay. And if you've been a little bit sad about Gojo lately, watch this video until the end to understand his character. In the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, we come to realize that even a majority of Gojo's students saw him more as a solution rather than an actual person. And yes, while that's really sad and I can understand how that would make people upset, that again is the point of Gojo's character. As Gojo stated in the afterlife, you can make a flower bloom, you could admire it, but you can't ask the flower to understand you, and that just shows that no one understood Gojo. Even in the afterlife, when Nanami said that Gojo just uses Jujutsu sorcery as a way to please himself rather than to actually help people. And Haibata and even his former best friend Geto agreeing with this because even Geto at this point no longer understood Gojo. Gojo had become so immensely powerful that nobody could possibly understand him, even Geto, who was his best friend. Which is why his battle against Sukuna was not only important for the students, Jujutsu Society, the story, but also for Gojo as well. Since no one else could stand on the level that Gojo could, Sukuna was able to, so Sukuna was able to reach Gojo in a way that no one else could. Which is again why Gojo is a tragic character. The only person who could actually understand him was Sukuna, the king of curses, the villain. And people tried to understand him, they definitely did. Characters like Yuji and Yuta. And Yuta called everyone else out on this because he even said that Gojo has becoming the monster all on his own and everyone has been relying on him to do that. And Gojo willingly took on this burden, whether it was subconsciously or consciously. So Yuta, who didn't want to leave his teacher all alone by himself, said that he would become the monster as well so that he could stand on the same level as Gojo and take some of that burden away from him. And the students realized that Yuta was right, because when Gojo told them all to walk away so he could unalive all of the elders, they refused because they no longer wanted him to have that burden all by himself. Which of course helps Gojo in not feeling alone, because even in the battle against Sukuna, he even says, all of my students are watching, so help me look cooler. In the end, though tragic as it may seem, Gojo was happy. Gojo did everything he possibly could to make sure that the students lived a good life and their childhood wasn't stolen from them like his was. He fostered a strong group of kids who all are relative to each other in power so that they don't feel alone, just like he did. And in the end, he found someone he gave everything to. Which is why Sukuna went from calling Gojo a nameless fish to saying, you did well, Gojo Satoru. I will forever remember you for as long as I live. The ultimate compliment you could possibly get from the strongest sorcerer in history. And you see Gojo smile in the very end, so you know he at least heard those final words before he passed on into the afterlife. So Matthew Matrone, hopefully I could make you happy about the fact that Gojo was at least happy in the end. Yes, he may have led a tragic life, and yes, people may have seen him as less than Gojo, but just as a tool to actually solve situations. But he himself in the end, I believe, was actually happy.